Oh no.
Houston, we have a problem.
Yes.
We have a main bus B under
Houston, we have a problem. Hey guys, Madison here, back for another Film Friday, and today I'm celebrating July 4th, aka Independence Day, on my channel. I know today's the 5th, yesterday was the 4th, but today is Film Friday, so I'm back with another movie, and today I am watching Apollo 13. I had a poll of Independence Day themed films, and you might be going, what? This has nothing to do with Independence Day. I know, but for us Americans, Independence Day is about more than just 1776. It's also about celebrating the American spirit, American achievements, and perhaps one of the greatest things America has achieved over the years is our incredible space exploration program with NASA. The amazing journeys our astronauts have made into space is pretty incredible. And this particular incident with Apollo 13, I've heard of, but am, I would say, quite unfamiliar with because it was way before my time, 1970. So I was not around when this was happening. I am not aware of any of the details of the situation. So this will not just be a fun entertainment experience for me watching a great movie, but also a learning experience, learning more of the details about that scenario and what happened and who the astronauts were that were on board Apollo 13, because I don't know any of them. So I'm looking forward to getting more educated on the subject. This movie has an amazing cast. I was just looking at it. Tom Hanks, Bill Paxton, Ed Harris, Kevin Bacon. I mean, the list goes on. It's crazy how many stars are in this movie, so I'm really looking forward to this. A great list of actors. Fun fact, this movie did come out in 1995, I see, which was actually a year before I was born. So if you're watching this, like so many people do, I don't know how many comments I've gotten, you guys, from people over the years accusing me of having already watched the movies I'm reacting to. Like, there is no way she hasn't seen this movie. She's faking. Which I just get a good laugh out of every time I see one of those comments. But if you're watching this and you're like, how have you not seen this movie? It came out a year before I was even born. So that's often how I miss a lot of these movies. They either came out like right before I was born, way before I was born, or when I was too young to watch them. That's what happened with a lot of these. So yeah, I'm looking forward to checking out this movie and going on an epic space adventure with you all. It's been a while since I've gone into space here on my channel, I feel like. And I really have not watched any space movies. Like I've done some sci-fi films, like the Alien films in particular on my channel that take us into space, but I feel like it's been a while since I've gone into space on my channel. So time, guys. I'm excited to check this one out, so let's jump in and let's watch Apollo 13. Ron Howard directed this movie. How did I not know this? He always does such a great job.
After that sudden and horrible fire on the launch pad that killed American astronauts Gus Grissom, Ed White, and Roger Chapman, there were serious doubts that we could beat the Russians to the moon. But tonight, a mere 18 months after the tragedy of Apollo 1, the entire world watched in awe as Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin landed on the moon.
Now let's say this is me here in the command module, and this is you. And Tracy, I'll tell you, when you feel that thing slide in, it's like no other feeling in the world.
Oh, Lord.
Hey, Maryland. This is the last champagne in the city of Houston. Hey, Cadet Lovell. You gonna get a haircut this summer?
I'm on vacation.
Oh, get a haircut.
But his hair is so short already. Haha, we've got 2 stars from Forrest Gump in this movie.
You know, my cousin called. Asked who we bribed to get on Jim Lovell's crew. I just told them they wanted to make sure he got the best.
Well, they got that right.
Bill Paxton, you gotta love him.
Hey, kids!
This must have been a wild experience.
Boy, look at those pictures. Wow. Armstrong is on the moon. Neil Armstrong. Standing on the surface of the moon.
That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
So cool.
I can't deal with cleaning up. Let's sell the house.
All right, let's sell the house.
From now on, we live in a world where man has walked on the moon. Apollo 8, we were so close. It was like I could just step out and walk on the face of it. I want to go back there.
See, I know I was not meant to be an astronaut because I can look at the moon and admire it from afar, and I have zero desire to go up there. No desire to go into space. Nope, not me. No.
Now, this is the actual launch vehicle that will be taking Alan Shepard and his crew on the first leg of the Apollo 13 mission.
Alan Shepard. I think I remember that name.
Jim, can I have a minute? Something's come up.
Sure, Henry? Hey! You know that Easter vacation trip we had planned for Acapulco? There might be a slight change in destination. Maybe say the moon. We've all been bumped up to the prime crew of Apollo 13.
Dad, can I please wear this?
Sure.
Jim.
No, absolutely.
Naturally, it's 13. Why 13?
It comes after 12, huh?
The unlucky number 13. I don't know where that whole superstition started. Something I need to Google.
75 feet. We're coming up on docking.
Let's shut down some thrusters on them.
Whoa.
You want to just back off and take another run at this?
No, I got it. I've got the target back in the reticle. Capture.
That's it. Ha! That's it.
Nice job, Jim.
That's 3 hours of boredom followed by 7 seconds of sheer terror.
My rate of turn is still a little too slow there. I really think we should work it again.
Well, let's get it right.
Okay, set it up again, Frank.
Yeah, that's smart. Get really good at it first. I mean, it's gotta be crazy. Like, doing the simulator is one thing, doing it in real life is another. But can't hurt to master the simulator first.
Good shape over here. Hey, we got a problem.
Don't you
Cabin
fly
seat
high.
pressure, repeat. Cabin seat pressure. I got no seat pressure. Help me! Cabin seat pressure. Oh, God.
Are we skipping straight into this? What is happening? He's having a nightmare, right? Yeah, he's definitely having a nightmare. Or she is. That would definitely be me. If my husband was going into space, I'd be so stressed.
Dad, did you know the astronauts on the fire?
Yeah, I did. I knew the astronauts in the fire. All of them.
Could that happen again?
Well, I'll tell you something about that fire. A lot of things went wrong. The door, they couldn't get it open when they needed to get out.
Did they fix it?
Oh, yes, absolutely. We fixed it. It's not a problem anymore.
Hey, you're Jim Level, aren't you? Hey, lucky 13. Right on.
This scene is like American Graffiti vibes.
I'm thinking about not going to the launch.
Huh.
I just don't think I can go through all that.
Well, you're gonna miss a hell of a show.
I can't blame her. I would be scared to be there too, but I feel like I would have to be there because like it would be worse if I wasn't. Like, better to just be there and see it, watch it happen, know he's okay, he's done it successfully. Like, if I wasn't there, I'd just be worrying about it. It's one of those I can't look, but I have to moments.
Jim, we've got a problem. Charlie Duke has the measles.
Uh-oh.
Well, I've had the measles.
Ken Mattingly has it.
You want to break up my crew 2 days before the launch?
Now, we can do one of two things here. We can either scrub Mattingly and go with Swigert, or we can bump all three of you to a later mission.
Man.
Yeah. I understand.
So he's on the mission now.
Swigert, he'll be fine. He's strong. It'll be a hell of a mission, one for the books. I don't have the measles. I'm not gonna get the measles.
Man, that stinks he didn't get to go.
I got a corridor light. We're coming in too shallow. I'm going to manual.
I'm gonna stay in this role, see if I can pull this out of it.
We're 12 Gs.
12 Gs, we're running up.
Oh boy. Gosh, that'd be so scary. Flying with a guy who like killed you during the simulator. Oh gosh. And they're like 2 days before launch. I think I would like quit, like abort the mission and wait for my other pilot to get back.
We can't go across that road. We don't want Daddy to get any of our germs and get sick in outer space, right?
Oh, she came.
Well, hey, that looks like Marilyn Lovell.
I heard it was going to be a hell of a show.
Now, who told you that?
Some guy I know.
You can't live without me.
They're cute. Oh boy, the day's here. Oh my gosh, that's a terrible omen. Why would you shower with your ring on? Why would you shower with your ring on? I don't understand. I would be so claustrophobic in that. Here we go, boys.
In your all set.
There he is, Ed Harris. I was wondering, I was like, where is he?
Apollo 13 flight controllers, listen up. Give me a go, no go for launch.
We're go flight.
Launch control, this is Houston. We are go for launch.
I'm getting so nervous, like this is actually happening right now.
T-minus 60 seconds and counting.
Aww.
We're go for launch.
10, 9, 8.
That's terrifying.
The clock is running.
What would that feel like?
We have liftoff.
I just got chills.
Okay, guys, we got it.
Roll complete. We are pitching.
13.
So cool. Oof.
That was some little joke.
Oh, that's too many buttons, guys. That's way too many buttons.
Houston, this is 13. We've got a center engine cut off. Go on the other 4.
Uh-oh. Not good.
We'll be alright as long as we don't lose another one.
Looks like we just had our glitch for this mission.
Only one problem so far, but we know there are more coming. That would be so strange, everything just floating around.
Remember, you're proud, happy, and thrilled.
How are you feeling?
We're very proud and very happy when we're thrilled.
Gonna go ahead and get set for transposition and docking.
Come on, Jack, don't... Oh. You know, it seems like doing that would be a little trickier with no gravity. That's so gross. Oh gosh. Like you just do it and then it hits you in the face.
Houston, we've got a good separation.
Don't screw this up, Jack. Come on.
Yeah, don't worry, guys. I'm on top of it.
Come on, rookie, park that thing.
Capture.
Perfect. Job, Jack.
Beginning of the PTC, and I think once we're in that barbecue roll, Jack and I will eat.
Hey, I'm hungry. I could eat the ass out of a dead rhinoceros.
Ew. All's quiet. Ooh, day 3.
Oh, it's too bad we can't demonstrate this on TV.
That would be so awful.
Okay, overboard dump coming up.
Here it comes, the constellation Orion.
Oh my gosh.
Barbara, we are going to your father's broadcast.
No, I hate Paul. She's still going on about the stupid Beatles breaking up.
The angsty teen.
The whole world is going to be watching this broadcast, young lady, and so are we.
Good evening, America. We are going to show you just what our life is like for the 3 of us. One of the first things we'd like to do is
Provide you with the appropriate background music. Hit it there, Fredo.
Hello, world. That was supposed to be the theme to 2001.
But there seems to have been a last-minute change in the program.
Good choice.
Hey, Marilyn.
Where's their broadcast?
All the networks dumped us. One of them said we made going to the moon about as exciting as taking a trip to Pittsburgh.
Wow. They didn't even broadcast it? That is so weird.
If anyone from the IRS is watching, I forgot to file my 1040 return amendment. I meant to do it today.
That's no joke. They'll jump on him.
Or flight in outer space.
Red haze.
Bill Paxton is having way too much fun in this scene. Was that Hank Williams?
Our next broadcast will be on the surface of the moon.
This is the crew of the Apollo 13, wishing everyone back on Earth a pleasant evening.
They might air a few minutes of it on the news tonight.
You'd think so.
Imagine with like how few channels there were on television back then. Watching a live space broadcast, you wouldn't think they would miss an opportunity to do that. I mean, wild that they didn't even show it. They'd rather show a monkey in a cage.
If you could give your oxygen tanks a stir.
Roger that.
Oh no.
What did you do? Nothing. I stirred the tanks.
He did what the dude told him to do.
This is Houston. Say again, please.
Houston, we have a problem.
Yes. Houston, we have a problem.
Econ, what's your data telling you?
Fuel cells 1 and 3 are, oh boy, what's going on here? Flight, let me get back to you.
Disaster. Disaster is going on here.
Houston, we got a pretty large bang there associated with a master alarm. Shit, it's main bus A. Main bus A undervolt?
All of the lights are orange. All of the lights are orange. This is bad.
We got a wicked shimmy up here.
Econ, GNC, these guys are talking about bangs and shimmies up there. Doesn't sound like instrumentation to me.
And you're in this tiny little space trying to move around fast.
SMRCS, Helium 1.
Switch to Omni,
and C
Charlie.
are barbapole.
This is when you really need to know your stuff.
I don't know. Maybe this is a caution and warning failure.
Houston, we are venting something out into space.
Definitely a gas of some sort.
It's got to be the oxygen.
That's really bad. That's possibly the most important one.
Roger, Odyssey. We copy your venting.
Give me an alarm.
Okay, let's everybody
into a 4-level
And now chaos.
Quiet down. Let's work the problem, people. Let's not make things worse by guessing.
Oh gosh.
O2, tank 2, steel 0. Tank 1, 218 PSI and falling.
Is that what you're getting? Confirm. We're seeing the same, 13.
We have no good news right now.
Flight, I recommend we shut down the reactant valves of the fuel cells. If that's where the leak is, we can isolate it.
You close them, you can't open them again. You can't land on the moon with one healthy fuel cell.
The Odyssey is dying. From my chair here, this is the last option.
They're not gonna land on the moon.
We want you to close react valves on cells 1 and 3.
Shutting down the fuel cells. Did I hear you right?
We think that closing the react valves may stop the leak.
Do you copy, Jim?
He does, but he doesn't like it.
We just lost the moon.
Yeah.
Okay, Fredo, shut those down.
Well, it's holding steady now. Or I thought it was. Uh-oh.
Fredo, how long does it take to power up the LEM?
3 hours by the checklist.
We don't have that much time.
15 minutes of oxygen, and that's it. The command module will be dead.
15 minutes?
Listen up, here's the drill. We're moving the astronauts over to the LEM. Lunar module just became a lifeboat.
We've got serious time pressure here, Jim.
How much time? Can you give me a number?
Well, we're looking at less than 15 minutes of life support in the Odyssey.
And the bad thing is, if you can't make it back to Earth, there's no one that can come and save you.
Man, there's a lot of debris floating around out there. Houston, our computer is up.
Roger that. Stand by for Fred.
Oh my gosh. Math, I would be doomed. Absolutely doomed.
I've completed these Gibble conversions, but I need a double check of the arithmetic.
Looks good, Flight. All right.
Even worse than math. Math under pressure. Math under pain of death. He's about to be really glad he's not on that flight.
Colonel Borman is here. At ABC2.
He just missed it.
I just heard they're losing oxygen. Can they get back? No, don't give me that NASA bullshit. I want to know what's happening with my husband.
Well, ma'am, they don't really know. They're doing it play-by-play here.
Yes, isn't up here yet. We have no attitude control on Aquarius.
They don't have control? Did we miss a step here? Control? What the hell happened? Control. No, we just want to see you tell.
Something broke on your daddy's spaceship, and he's gonna have to turn around before he even gets to the moon. Is it the door?
Oh my gosh, that poor kid. Was it the door?
Do we know for sure that we can power this thing back up?
It's gonna get awfully cold in here. We'll just have to deal with that later.
This is Odyssey. Signing off.
Yeah, basically abandoning ship and getting in the lifeboat.
How do we get our people home? They are here. We turn them around, straight back, direct aboard.
Hadn't finished yet.
We're talking about time, not whether or not these guys. I'm not going to sugarcoat this.
One at a time.
The only engine we've got with enough power for direct aboard is the SPS on the service module. Could have been damaged in an explosion, so let's consider that engine dead. So that leaves us with the LEM, which means free return trajectory.
We designed the LEM to land on the moon.
Unfortunately, we're not landing on the moon, are we?
After this burn, we've got to build some time in the flight plan for them to get some sleep.
How do you sleep out in space when your ship is falling apart, your rocket's falling apart? You could die, and you have to try to sleep.
We expect loss of signal in less than 1 minute.
You want to look?
Oh, look at that.
So close, but just out of reach.
So long, Earth. Catch you on the flip side.
It's so ominous, just them sitting and waiting in the dark now. Look at that.
I can see our landing site. It's Marion Beam to the north.
He wanted to do it so bad.
13, this is Houston. Reading your telemetry at a distance from the moon of 56 nautical miles.
Gotta tell you, I need to take this baby down, though.
Gentlemen, what are your intentions? I'd like to go home.
He's let go of the dream now. Now he just wants to get back to his family.
It brings them to about there. Gentlemen, that's not acceptable.
It's gonna take them 45 hours to get like a little over halfway back.
Power is everything. With everything on, the LEM draws 60 amps. At that rate, in 16 hours, the batteries are dead, not 45. And so's the crew. We got to get them down to 12 amps. I've been looking at the data for the past hour.
That's the deal?
That's the deal.
And then we finish the burn, we'll power down the LEM.
About to get real cold and uncomfortable up there.
I'm trying to get in touch with you for 45 minutes.
What are you doing here?
Gotta get you in the simulators. We got a ship to land. There's been an explosion.
What about the crew?
Crew's fine so far, trying to keep them alive in the LEM.
So they're gonna use him in the simulator to simulate the situation and try to figure out what they can do. Oh wow, he can maybe help save the crew from Earth.
We had a CO2 filter problem on the lunar module.
5 filters on the LEM.
Which were meant for 2 guys for a day and a half.
They're already up to 8 on the gauges. Anything over 15 and you get impaired judgment blackouts.
Well, what's not broken?
Where's on the command module?
They take square cartridges.
The ones on the LEM are round.
Well, I suggest you gentlemen invent a way to put a square peg in a round hole.
We gotta find a way to make this fit into the hole for this, using nothing but that.
Okay, let's build a filter.
Better get some coffee going.
Oh my goodness.
I have a request from the news people out front here, and they want to put a transmitter up on the lawn.
Why does that guy look so familiar to me? I've seen him somewhere.
I thought they didn't care about this mission. They didn't even run Jim's show.
They didn't care, not till it went wrong, and they had a story.
Those people don't put one piece of equipment on my lawn. If they have a problem with that, they can take it up with my husband. He'll be home on Friday.
It's the most ominous version of Hank Williams I've ever heard. Man, I don't know how you don't go crazy in a situation like that.
It hurts when I urinate.
Well, you're not getting enough water.
I'm drinking my ration, same as you.
What's wrong with him?
I think old Swagger gave me the clap. Been pissing in my relief, too.
They had us burned too long. At this rate, we're gonna skip right out of the atmosphere, and we're never gonna get back.
Jack, they've got half the PhDs on the planet
Houston
working
says
on
we're
this
right
thing.
on the money.
I'm trying to tell you, we're coming in too fast.
Ow! Shit! This piece of shit's gonna get you home. That's because that's the only thing we got left, Jack.
What are you saying, Fred?
Well, I think you know what I'm saying.
This is not the time to fight.
All I did was stir those tanks.
What was that gauge reading before you hit the switch?
Fred, don't blame him. He just did what he was told.
Where is this, Houston? Yeah, Jim, could you check your CO2 gauge for us?
Our CO2 measurement has jumped 4 notches in the last hour.
Can't be right. I went over those numbers 3 times.
What do we do about it?
Jim, we're working on a procedure down here for you.
Christ, I know why my numbers are wrong. I only figured it for 2 people.
Why'd you figure it for 2 people when there's 3? Oh my gosh. They're stressed, and they're at each other's throats because they don't want to die and they're scared, but they just need to work together to get home.
That's what they gotta make. Well, I hope you got the procedures for me. Right here.
I keep feeling like I'm holding my breath. I'm like trying to conserve their oxygen for them.
You want to cut
Just use your arm.
It's a good arm length.
Okay, Houston, I see what you're getting at. Hold on.
Oh, shit, I tore it.
Just keep calm. Oh wow, nice shot there.
Houston, filters in place.
Roger, 13.
I can hear air moving.
Just breathe normal, fellas.
Easier said than done. They fix it?
CO2 level has dropped to 9, and it is still falling.
Yes. One crisis averted.
Okay, spacecraft controlled by computer.
No, what now? Okay, he's working in the simulator. I was about to be like, guys, can I just have a minute to recover before the next problem? Oh my gosh. They're just flying in a hunk of debris.
Jack, you'll be happy to hear that we contacted President Nixon, and he's going to grant you an extension on your income tax.
Oh, yay.
So we've had another request from the flight surgeon that you fellas get some more sleep.
Doesn't like his readings down here.
I am sick and tired, the entire Western world, knowing how my kidneys are functioning.
Flight, I just lost level.
Jim, we just had a dropout on your biomed sensors.
I'm not wearing my biomed sensors, Houston.
Okay, Jim.
Talk about having no privacy, wearing all that stuff, and everyone in there knows exactly how your body is functioning every minute of every day. Like, it's like wearing a heart monitor, but for like every bodily function. Speaking of heart monitor, my blood pressure, guys. Oh gosh.
We need another burn to get them back in the corridor.
Another burn.
Fire the engines and get them on course.
Copy that.
That looks so gross.
Houston Aquarius.
Fred is in really bad shape.
All we need to hold attitude is one fixed point in space. If we can keep the Earth in the window, the COAS
Crosshairs right on its terminator. All I have to know is how long do we need to burn the engine?
The crew must aim for a corridor just 2.5 degrees wide. If they're too steep, they'll incinerate in the steadily thickening air. If they're too shallow, they'll ricochet off the atmosphere like a rock skipping off a pond.
Neither of those sounds desirable.
They're going to burn the engines and steer it manually, attempting to keep the Earth in the window.
This is crazy. Oh my gosh. It has to be so precise. They're not allowed to turn on their computer.
Standing by for corridor control burn.
Okay, Jim, you can fire when ready.
You may fire when ready.
This is burning. Oh yeah.
That's your arm off. Drop it down, Presto. We're drifting. No, you hold what you got. I'll roll it. Back off.
Come to the right a little bit.
15 seconds.
The music is sounding so John Williams right here. I forgot to look at who did the soundtrack. I have to look at that in the credits.
6, 7, that's it. Hold. 8, 9.
Shut down.
Let's hope we don't have to do that again.
That is a lot of cigarettes.
Giving our guys enough to survive till re-entry. Now we gotta get them in. Tell me about the power-up procedures.
Okay, I'm gonna go back and reorganize the sequencing again and find more power.
I don't know where the hell we're gonna find it.
This one time, I'm in a Banshee at night in combat conditions, so there's no running lights on the carrier. And I'm looking down at a big black ocean. And then suddenly, zap, everything shorts out right there in my cockpit. I know I'm running out of fuel. I look down there, and then in the darkness, there's this green trail, and it was the algae. It was that phosphorescent stuff that gets churned up in the wake of a big ship. If my cockpit lights hadn't shorted out, there's no way I'd have ever been able to see that. You never know what events are going to transpire to get you home.
Okay. Spacecraft Commander Jim Lovell.
Man, her performance worrying about him is so good. She just sells it, man, without saying a word.
What the hell was that?
That's what I was about to say.
Houston, can you confirm a burst helium disk?
We confirm that, Jim.
Houston, is that going to affect our entry angle at all?
Negative.
We sure could use the re-entry procedure up here. We just can't throw this together at the last minute.
Ken Mattingly's in the simulator right now.
Ken's working on it.
And if anybody can figure it out, he can. And that is my dad joke of the day.
I want whatever you guys got on these power procedures.
I'll call over to the simulator and get an estimate.
I don't want another estimate. I want the procedures. Now!
Nobody wants to be liable, like be responsible for screwing this up, so they're being so careful that they're not getting it done. They're so afraid of doing it wrong and getting these guys killed, which they know if that happens, somebody's going to end up taking the fall for it.
Here we go.
Is your computer on now?
Up and running.
I think we got it, buddy.
Job, Ken, come on.
Aquarius, Houston.
Yeah, we read you, Ken. Are the flowers blooming in Houston?
That's a negative, Jim. I don't have the measles.
Blanche, these nice young men are going to watch the television with you. This is Neil Armstrong, and this is Buzz Aldrin.
Wow.
Are you boys in the space program, too?
Close main bus B.
Ken, there's an awful lot of condensation on this panel.
He's like, the last time I did what they told me to do, so things went real wrong.
Okay, Jack. On panel 7, BMAG number 2, power to warm up.
BMAG number 2, power to warm up. Done.
Your husband prepares to jettison his lunar module lifeboat.
My gosh, it's been a week.
Uplink telemetry, command module to accept, right?
That's affirmed. Go ahead and try it.
Uplink completed.
Way to go, Jack.
That was nice. That was nice, Fred. Extending the olive branch.
We're looking at a typhoon warning.
On the edge of the prime recovery area. Just a warning flight. It could miss them.
What? The timing of that. Really?
We have service module jettison.
Houston, we're getting our first look at the service module now. One whole side of the
Spacecraft is missing. Right by the high gain antenna, a whole panel is blown out.
Wow.
Right up to our heat shield.
The heat shield.
So is that what went wrong? The heat shield?
Thousands of people have gathered to watch updates of the mission in Times Square. In Rome, Pope Paul led 50,000 people in prayers.
Wow. That's crazy. What a worldwide thing this was.
Freeze. Can you hold out just a little longer? As long as I have to.
Come on, Fred.
We should be making our move in the command module. When you get a chance, let us know how you're doing.
Hey, let me give you a hand there, Fredo.
Oh, that's beautiful.
We have lunar module jettison.
She sure was a good ship.
Very well, Aquarius. And we thank you.
How much money did they spend to build that thing? And then it was just jettisoned.
When will we know?
Blackout lasts for 3 minutes. If they're not back in 4, we'll know.
Flight, they're still showering a bit up there.
Anything we could do about it?
Not now, Clay.
And they don't need to know, do they?
Could be the worst disaster NASA's ever experienced.
With all due respect, sir, I believe this is going to be our finest hour.
I like his attitude. Optimistic to the end.
Gentlemen, it's been a privilege flying with you.
In a way, it feels like they've been gone for years, and it's just been a week. My gosh, look at that. How did people survive that? How? Oh, how does that thing not come apart? It's literally a flaming meteor with people inside.
1 minute and 30 seconds to end of blackout.
This is the critical moment. Will the heat shield hold? If it doesn't, there'll only be silence.
Okay, flight, that's 3 minutes. Standing by for acquisition.
The time when the astronauts were expected to come out of blackout has come and gone.
That's 4 minutes. Standing by.
There they are.
Hello, Houston. This is Odyssey. It's good to see you again.
Who's cutting onions in here?
Houston, we're at Stable 1. The ship is secure. This is Apollo 13 signing on.
So glad they made it. They all made it. They went from freezing their butts off to just almost burning to a crisp.
Our mission was called a successful failure in that we returned safely but never made it to the moon. It was determined that a damaged coil built inside the oxygen tank sparked during our cryo stir.
Oh.
Fred Hayes was going back to the moon on Apollo 18, but his mission was canceled because of budget cuts. He never flew in space again. Nor did Jack Swigert, who left the astronaut corps and was elected to Congress from the state of Colorado.
What?
He died of cancer before he was able to take office.
Oh.
Ken Mattingly orbited the moon as command module pilot of Apollo 16, having never gotten the measles. And as for me, the 7 extraordinary days of Apollo 13 were my last in space. I watched other men walk on the moon, all from the confines of Mission Control and our house in Houston. I sometimes catch myself looking up at the moon. I look up at the moon and wonder, when will we be going back, and who will that be?
Okay, so the first thing I just looked up when this movie ended was who did the score, and it was James Horner, not John Williams, but James Horner is another one of my favorites who did Titanic and Braveheart and so many other things, and we tragically lost him way too soon, but he did such extraordinary work, such amazing music, and this was another banger. Apollo 13, there were just certain moments where that music would hit just right, especially when the vocals would come in, and it just like gave me goosebumps, and it would just really capture the epic moment and the scale of what was happening, like seeing Earth out the window when they were about to fly back in. That was an incredible shot, an incredible moment that really gave me chills, like thinking about what these astronauts and what NASA has achieved with the space missions. It's just crazy thinking about actually leaving our planet and going to other planets, and just it's crazy. When you think about the logistics of it and everything that is required, that's necessary to make those missions possible, the science of it all, which my mind that is not at all mathematical can't comprehend, is just like, wow. And this movie definitely captured the awe of space flight and how dangerous also it can be, and how it just takes one little thing being out of place or a little bit off, and suddenly your whole mission is doomed. And you're trying to do everything in your power to safely return home. Like, if anything goes wrong, it's just it can be such deadly consequences because no one can come get you. You're on your own. You have to be able to successfully fly back without burning up in the atmosphere or something else happening to you. It's just like, it's such a dangerous occupation that I cannot even imagine. Two of the most terrifying jobs that I can imagine are flying on rockets out into space or being in a submarine down in the ocean. Like, both of those, hard pass for me. But boy, do I admire people who are brave enough and courageous enough to pull off stuff like that. Like, oh my gosh. Well done by Ron Howard on this film. Trying to remember all of his films that I've seen. The Missing is actually the first one that comes to mind because I always do Westerns here on my channel once a month. And yeah, that's my favorite genre, and that's probably my favorite film of his that I've watched. I'm biased. I love Westerns. I've seen at least another few of his films. I think he did In the Heart of the Sea, and I'm drawing a blank right now, but he just always does a solid job as a director. And the cast in this movie is just crazy. Having Tom Hanks and Kevin Bacon and Bill Paxton cramped in this little space cabin for an entire movie, and they just sell it, man. They sell the drama, the tension, the suspense of it all, and when they started bickering and fighting with each other, and the emotion, like the joy on their return. Like, they just do such a fantastic job, and the camera work really sells that you're in space, with all the spinning and the rotating and the way the camera would move around them as they're navigating the cabin really sells that you're in space, and the lack of gravity and all of that. And I don't know how they did the shots with like outside the rocket outside. And I was wondering if they did miniatures for all of those, because it looked very practical, and I was like, this doesn't look CGI, which I'm trying to remember when CGI really became a thing. I mean, early 2000s. Not sure what they had at their disposal in terms of CGI and stuff at this point in 1995. Not much, I would say. And a lot of that looked practical, those shots, and I was trying to think, like, did they do it kind of like Star Wars, where it was like the miniatures and then the space backdrops? I don't know, but it was fascinating watching all of those shots and how well done they were. Like, there wasn't anything dated about this movie. It still holds up very, very well. I mean, obviously you can tell it was not made today by today's standards, but you know what? That's okay, because everything is so overly CGI'd now that it drives me crazy. And a lot of times these more practical effects and techniques hold up a lot better than some of the CGI that's done nowadays. Some of it is done really, really well, but some of the CGI even today is just really, really bad. And you look at it and you immediately know that it's fake, and it takes you out of the movie. I didn't have any of those moments with this movie. Really, really fantastic and meticulous the way it was documented, like showing each day. And I don't know how many artistic liberties were taken with this movie. I know there's always artistic liberties taken, but I liked how they were showing each day and documenting, like showing the different problems that cropped up and how they were dealing with them along the way, and really just building that tension of trying to get home, but first crushing the dream of like, we're not going to go to the moon. And then seeing Jim cope with that, like that his dream of going to the moon wasn't going to happen. And then he just kind of had to shift his focus and his motivation to just getting back home and getting back to his family. And oh my gosh, could not be an astronaut wife. No, like the stress, oh my gosh. Yeah, I don't think I could handle that. But yeah, guys, this was a very intense movie. I kept holding my breath. I kept catching myself going like, I'm trying to hold my breath for them. I was just like stressing on their behalf. So well done. The way it was shot, just capturing the claustrophobic nature of it inside that tiny little cabin, just the way they built the tension with the score and their deteriorating like health condition. Like Fred was just in a bad state by the time they got back, and there were just so many different little techniques they used to ramp up that tension, ramp up the stakes throughout the movie, like not just stuff going wrong with the ship, as I call it, the rocket, and all of that, but also, you know, with Fred, him getting feverish and Jack getting like stressed, like he was deteriorating more mentally and emotionally, and Fred was struggling with his health. But I mean, they were all taxed to the limit mentally and emotionally. And once they started ramping that up too with the characters, that ups the suspense and the tension even more, on top of the technical problems they're already having, and then constantly cutting back and forth between them and NASA in Houston. You're ramping up the stakes there too, because you're showing all the different people running around like chickens with their heads cut off, trying to solve the problem and trying to get them home safely. So it was just like, oh man, it was an endeavor, and thank goodness they made it home safely. What a story. What an event around the world. It was just crazy seeing how many countries like came together, were watching, everyone watching on the TV to see what happened. And thank goodness it did not end in tragedy, because wow, crazy and amazing story. And yeah, quite a successful failure. They did not achieve what they set out to do, but they made it home safely. And that matters more than anything, that those lives were not lost. You know, other people could go to the moon later. More important that those astronauts got home safely, and thank goodness they did. It was really fun learning about who the guys were that were on the Apollo 13 and their families, and seeing all of that. It makes it a lot more personal, and you remember stuff like that when it's shown in movie form like this. It really helps you just get emotionally invested in those people and their stories, and it was just really, really cool. So thank you guys so much. Thank you to those of you who voted for it on the Patreon poll this week. Really enjoyed this film, learned a lot, and I hope you guys enjoyed this reaction. Click the link below in the description to go to my Patreon if you want to see the full length watch along there. And be sure to like this video if you enjoyed and subscribe if you haven't. And I will see you guys next week for another Film Friday. And happy 4th.